Good morning, everybody. It is such a thrill to be with you guys this morning. My name is Jenny Cummings.
I'm Terry Charles.
We're going to lift our heart in praise. All right, everybody sing. Early in the morning, when I rise, I lift my hands in praise because I'm alive. And late at night, when I lay down, I lift my heart in praise for the love I found. And I say, for the love I found. Still one more time. Early in the morning, when I rise, I lift my hands in praise because I'm alive. And late at night, when I lay down, I lift my heart in praise for the love I found. And I sing, for the love I found, for the love I found, for the love I found.
Well, good morning, everybody. How about that for a nice lift for the morning on these great days? I love that song, I'm telling you. Welcome to Unity of Olympia streaming online service. Friends, wherever you happen to be right now, we are gathered together in prayer. I'm really pleased to mention that today we have a guest speaker because Reverend Terry, as you know, is on sabbatical, and we have our own licensed Unity teacher, Aubrey Pitchford, with us. Now, normally we welcome our guest speakers with a round of applause, and I can hear the thunderous applause coming from all over Olympia. So at Unity, we believe in a philosophy that is a positive, love-based spirituality that enables us to become a model for positive living. So this morning, I get to light the Christ candle. And as you know, Unity is spiritually Christian, and we are culturally unlimited. I love that phrase. So the Christ candle, of course, represents that light that lives in each one of us.
Thank you, Greg. We let this flame remind us of that sacred flame within. We know that each of us has that spark of divinity. We see it within, we see it in everyone on the planet. We tune into that divinity knowing it lights the way. We are open and grateful for all that it shows. And we know that it is blessing us, that we bless others, we bless the planet as we tune into that sacred light. We know this is so, and so it is.
From the prayer team today, we have Linda Eyrick, who will be reading the daily word for us.
Thank you, Greg. Today's daily word is fearless. I am fearless as I live authentically. In the past, I may have hidden my inner light, afraid to be myself. I may have tried to please others by conforming to someone else's idea of who I should be. I may have shrunk from an aspiration, fearing that I would fail in pursuit of my goal. I may have doubted the divine perfection at the core of my spiritual self, identifying with my perceived flaws and feeling small and inadequate. Today, I make a new choice. I choose to live fearlessly, drawing upon my faith to believe in myself, my imagination to envision my best life, and my understanding to know my divinity. Bold and brave, I am fearless as I live my life authentically, pursue my dreams, and express my divine nature. From Deuteronomy 31, verse 6, be strong and bold, have no fear or dread, because it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. I am fearless as I live authentically. I invite you to affirm that with me. I am fearless as I live authentically, and so it is.
And this is the time in our service where we affirm our statement of faith. I invite you to join me with "There is only one." Together, please. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, all power, presence, and wisdom. It is in God that we live, move, and have our being, and we know this is so.
Do you feel love's presence?
Love lives in my heart.
Do you feel love's presence?
Love lives in my heart.
Do you feel love's presence?
Love lives in my heart.
I can feel, I can feel, I can feel. And do you feel self-mercy?
Love lives in my heart.
Do you feel self-mercy?
Love lives in my heart.
Do you feel self-mercy?
Oh, love lives in my heart.
I can feel, I can feel, I can feel. And do you feel your courage?
Love lives in my heart.
Do you feel your courage?
Love lives in my heart.
Do you feel your courage?
Love lives in my heart.
I can feel, I can feel, I can feel. And do you feel your power?
Love lives in my
Do
heart.
you feel your power?
Love lives in my
Do you
heart.
feel your power?
Love lives in my heart.
I can feel, I can feel, I can feel. Oh, I can feel, I can feel, I can feel. Yes, I can feel, I can feel, I can feel.
Well, friends, in my opinion, that deserves a round of applause. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Terry. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm starting off today's talk with what in math class we used to call a story problem. So my father is a big fly fisherman, and he had 17 fly fishing reels. Those are those spinner things that you put on the fishing rod, so when you cast the line out, the line unwinds, and then you can crank it back in when you get the fish. So my father had 17 fly fishing reels, and he got 3 more. What did my father have? Zeal. The man had zeal and happiness. And happiness. So today we're talking about the spiritual power of zeal. What it is, why it matters, how we access it, and most importantly, how we can use it to lead what I call a zealicious life. A life that's full of the things that we love. Now, before we get too deep into this talk, I want to let you know we're doing a little bit of an experiment today. I think COVID has led to some great experimentation. We don't know how this is going to work, so that's your disclaimer right there. I think many of you know that I'm a teacher, and as a teacher, I like asking questions because I want to know what you think. Now, here in the sanctuary, there are only 6 of us, and one of them is me. I already know what I think. So I'm going to be asking questions, and folks in the sanctuary may offer responses. And we also have many folks joining our service by Facebook Live. And in Facebook Live, there's a chat feature. And our friend Terry Charles is going to be back in our sound booth sharing responses that people provide in the Facebook Live chat. So when I ask my questions, if you're joining us by Facebook Live, please feel free to put responses in the chat, and Terry Charles will share those with us. And I'll say them on the mic if they're not mic'd up. All right, so today we're talking about the spiritual power of zeal. Many folks may have heard that our Unity co-founder, Charles Fillmore, identified 12 spiritual powers that he believed were attributes of the divine, 12 spiritual powers. And because in Unity, our second principle is that spark of divinity is in each human being. Each of us in this room, each of us watching by Facebook Live or on the church website streaming, and every person on this planet, because we believe that divinity is in everyone, we believe these 12 spiritual attributes are in each person as well. If you want to know more about the 12 powers in general, you're going to get some opportunities coming up here in 2021, which is actually not that far away. So our larger organization, Unity Worldwide Ministries, has a yearly theme and a monthly theme. And the yearly theme in 2021 is going to be the 12 powers. And there's already information on unity.org if you're interested in doing a deeper dive into the 12 powers now. There's also this fabulous book, I don't know if you can see the title, it's called Divine Audacity by Linda Martello Whitsett. And this book is on the 12 powers. It's a fabulous read. We're going to have some spirit groups early in the new year, probably in February, that are going to be based on this book. So again, another opportunity to learn some great information about the 12 powers, access some meditations about 12 powers, and so forth. Historically, the month of October has been the month for zeal, which I just love because October is my favorite month. And so now is the time when I'm going to ask some questions and I want to know what you think. So if you're one of the other 5 people here in the sanctuary with me, you're welcome to share. If you're joining us by Facebook Live, please put your comments in the chat so Terry Charles can share them with us. But my first question is, what does zeal mean to you? What does zeal mean to you?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. Thank you, Linda.
Exuberance.
Exuberance. Okay, Janine, yes.
Excitement.
Excitement. Thank you, Greg.
Passion.
Passion. Oh, I like it. Yeah. Any chat comments, Terry?
I don't see chat comments yet.
Okay, people might still be thinking, and that's okay. I'll share while we're waiting to see if anyone comments in the chat. Zeal for me means that which lights me up inside. Thinking again about when Greg lit the Christ candle, that sacred flame. What is it that lights me up from within? What is it that helps me not notice the passage of time as I get engaged in something? And what is it that provides me that internal motivation, that internal push to do that which is mine to do? Terry, here we got a comment.
So Lisa Petrich says, zeal, being fully present with love and enthusiasm.
Oh, I love it. Being fully present with love and enthusiasm. Yes, thank you, Lisa. And we're going to talk about how zeal is connected to that present moment and the kingdom of heaven within a little bit later in our talk. Unity Worldwide Ministries defines zeal as the inner flame that burns brightly for all to see, which I like as well. And then a couple of our spiritual masters from this community, Mary Ellen Saltis and Mo Kiefert, a while back wrote a book on the 12 powers. And Mary Ellen and Mo said that zeal harmonizes body, mind, and spirit. I love that definition too, that I feel good in my body, I feel good in my mind, and I am connected to something that is bigger and greater than I am. I see we might have one more comment from the chat.
Yes, Lisa, again, she said being engaged, motivated.
Yes, that feeling of engagement, that feeling of I'm having trouble saying that word too. Motivation, not coming from the outside, but coming from within. Now, like all of our 12 powers, zeal can be overused. And we might think of overuse as maybe being in a frenzied place. When I was in my 20s, I went through this stage where I felt like I needed to brush my teeth a lot, and I was probably brushing them 30 times a day. So that might be zeal being overused. Zeal underused might be that feeling like, I don't even know why I get out of bed in the morning. Like it might be really challenging to do anything. Now sometimes I think we might inadvertently get into a little metaphysical malpractice in Unity where we might adopt the message that I should feel happy, or I should feel zeal, or I shouldn't feel frenzied, or I shouldn't feel like it's not worth getting out of bed in the morning. And I'm sharing the overuse and underuse of zeal, not so that we should ourselves, but so that we can recognize if we're in that space of frenzy, or if we're in that space of lackluster energy, that we can use our divine discernment. we can get curious about what's going on for me, have compassion for ourselves, and discern what is mine to do, what is coming up to be healed. So going back to our spiritual power of zeal, part of why I believe that our spiritual power of zeal matters and is so important is this is one way we bring our light into the world. Linda Martello Whitsett, the author of this book, Divine Audacity, defines zeal in such a way, and she partners it with other spiritual powers. So I want to share with you her definition. She uses the word first, audacity, to represent zeal. And she says audacity is this ability to think outside the box, to be open to possibilities. And so zeal partners very easily with our divine power of imagination. It's that spark that says, what if we invite people on the chat to share their comments during the service? What if we explore turning the Bishop Wing into a shelter for folks who don't have other homes? That divine spark of illumination. Linda Martello Whitsett also says zeal is enthusiasm. I think Linda shared that. Our ability to get started. And this partners very easily with the power of divine will. Our ability to choose. After I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. The part of me that decides to do something with it. I sent an email to the worship team saying, hey, if I want to know what people are saying on chat, is there anyone who can help me with that during the service? Or the council setting up a meeting so that the congregation can provide input on do we use our property to help house people who might not have a home otherwise. Finally, Linda Martello Whitsett defines zeal as devotion, that ability to keep going. Once we have that spark, that ability to keep moving forward. And I think in this way, zeal partners very easily with strength. So after I have that divine idea, I'm like, yeah, that would be fabulous if we invite chat comments during the service. What do I do to keep it going? How do I keep it moving forward if my enthusiasm lags, or if it looks like, maybe other people think it's not going to work, or what are we going to do to keep things rolling forward? So we use our zeal to get us started and to help us move in the direction of our dreams. Now, every now and then when the conversation of zeal comes up, I hear someone say, well, isn't that selfish? Isn't that selfish to focus on what's important to me? And I will tell you a thing about selfish. I think it is one thing to want to succeed and want everyone else to fail so that I can succeed. And that is not what I want, and I believe it's probably not what any of us want. I also believe that as we tune into our own inner light, we light the way for others. And even if something seems like, oh, it's just going to make me happy, that there is often a blessing in there for other people in addition to ourselves. When Janine sings, I know it makes her happy, and it makes many, many people happy. So it might on the surface look like selfish, and when we tune into that light, we have that opportunity to light the way for others in addition to ourselves. Marianne Williamson has a great quote related to this where she says, your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine. Our master teacher, Jesus the Christ, said something very similar 2,000 years ago, according to the book of Mark. And the book of Mark in chapter 4, verse 21 says, is a lamp brought in to be put under the bushel basket or under the bed, not on the lampstand? So we recognize the importance of letting this light shine, letting this light out. I think there is also a connection between zeal and prosperity consciousness. Zeal and allowing our good to come to us. I mentioned a little bit ago that unity.org already has the 12 powers information for next year on it. And their affirmation for zeal, I think, connects really closely to prosperity consciousness because it says, I enthusiastically accept my good and go forward to achieve my purpose. I enthusiastically accept my good and go forward to achieve my purpose. So I allow it to come to me because I know that's what allows me to contribute to others and to the world. All right. There may also be people with the idea of zeal who say, well, you know, we have this COVID thing, we have like a pandemic, we have social distancing, we have fires and smoke, we have this election coming up. We don't have, how important is zeal when there's all this, what a friend of mine calls swirl occurring? And I will answer that question with a question. Which has more courage, a rock or a tree? Which has more courage, a rock or a tree? The rock, because it's a boulder. Ha ha. So part of what brings me zeal is laughing and making other people laugh. And this is what I believe, going back to Lisa's comment from earlier, this is what I believe connects us to that kingdom of heaven, which our master teacher, Jesus the Christ, said, that kingdom of heaven is at hand, it is within. As we laugh, as we make others laugh, that brings us into the present moment. And I believe that moment of mindfulness is what helps us be better equipped to deal with the swirl, the COVID, the smoke, the election. So I'm going to continue to tell a few corny jokes. How did the hot dog get a date? He mustered up the courage to ask. All right, last one. I was in the laundromat the other day, and I finally got the courage to try the change machine. But it must be broken because my life is still the same. Wah, wah, wah. All right, so now you know some of what brings Audrey zeal. So here is another question for you. So again, if you're joining us by Facebook Live, I invite you to share comments in the chat. If you're here in the sanctuary, share with me out loud. How do we figure out what brings us zeal? How do we even identify what is it that lights me up inside?
What's happening in your body?
Okay, Janine says, pay attention to what's happening in your body.
You see what you don't have to think about it.
Oh, Greg says you feel it, you don't have to think about it. Nice.
Staying present.
Staying present, yes. Yeah. Other thoughts? We wait for the chat that may or may not ever
It
happen.
brings a smile, I know that.
Oh, something that brings a smile. Okay, yeah.
Don't notice the time.
We don't notice the time passing by. Right,
And
right.
we keep doing it.
We keep doing it. Yes, what is it that I keep getting attracted to that I love?
Mary Ellen Saltis says no sense of time.
Oh, Mary Ellen, thank you. No sense of the
Oh, I'm
passage of
kidding.
time. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Janine, I'm sorry, Terry, did I cut you off?
No, that's exactly what Linda had just said. No sense of time.
Yeah, the time goes very quickly. If we feel like identifying what brings us zeal is a challenge, there's tools and resources that can help us. We can study, we can journal. Oh, Terry Charles has another comment.
Couple more. So Suze says, wake up with a new vision every day.
Nice, thank you, Suze. Yes, having that new vision, that spark when I wake up. Thank you.
And Lisa says, if it makes you happy, easy or engaged.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. If it makes me feel happy, if I feel a sense of engagement or happiness while I'm doing it, and it's easy. I love it. For some people, I'm waving to Suze outside the window. For some people, time in nature helps identify our area of zeal. And in fact, our affirmation for this month of October from Unity Worldwide Ministries is nature's beauty reflects my own true nature. Nature's beauty reflects my own true nature. I shared earlier, this is my favorite month. Part of it is because it is so lovely outside. And so being out in that beauty helps me identify what I'm passionate about. We are very blessed right now to also have an intern, James Tierney, who's going to be teaching a class, and it's on discovering your purpose. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I know I have zeal, but I'm just not really sure where to focus it, there may be classes, there may be books, and James' class is going to be every Saturday during the month of November. One other technique for identifying zeal. There are some great stories in the Bible of people who used their zeal to do amazing things. In the Old Testament, which Unity calls the Hebrew Bible, there's a wonderful short book about a young woman named Ruth. And if you're ever looking for an example of zeal, I recommend reading the story of Ruth because she was a real go-getter. Her mother-in-law was like, oh, they should just call me bitter now because I'm bitter. And Ruth's like, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to get us some food, I'm going to get me a new husband. And she changed her own life and changed the life of her family. In the New Testament, which Unity calls the Christian Bible, there's a great story of Jesus clearing out the temple, deciding, hey, it's not okay that this temple is being used as a stockyard in a marketplace, and driving out the merchants of the temple. So again, if we're looking for examples of zeal, or looking at what connects within, we have many, many places we can go to. All right, my last question for everyone. How do we use zeal? Once we know what it is that lights us up inside, what do we do with that? How do we use it to make a difference?
I use it to create.
Okay,
Share my creations.
thank you. Yeah, Janine says she uses it to create and share her creations. Thank you. Yeah, so channeling that sacred zeal to help me create something beautiful that's going to bless me and bless the world. Yeah, thank you, Janine.
Building community.
Building community, yeah, building those relationships and connections with each other. And I heard Greg say something.
For the better of others.
For the better of others, absolutely. Yes, Terry.
Mary Ellen says, powers energy forward.
Yes, it's what propels us. Thank you, Mary Ellen. Yeah, using that energy to move us ahead.
I think it connects us to the divine too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like Mary Ellen and Mo said in their book, that it activates our body, our mind, and our spirit. And in Unity, we talk about affirmative prayer. I believe zeal is connected to our experience of prayer as well. That is, if we can activate our sacred feeling, if we can activate that which lights us up inside and connect that to our prayer, that it magnifies the scope of our prayer.
So Lisa Petrich also says, align it with our daily life by taking the time to be with it. Align it with our purpose. And there's another from James Tierney, keeping healthy and keeping our families happy.
Yeah, thank you, James, and thank you, Lisa. I love the idea, Lisa, of making time for zeal. So even if it's just 30 seconds to tell a corny joke, making time for what lights me up inside. And James said, yes, using it to keep ourselves vibrant, healthy, happy, so that we can be present in our lives and we can be present in the lives of others. I learned from a very wise friend of mine, Linda Eyrick, who's on the prayer team. The technique for activating zeal for me on my vision board, she recommended, I had a vision board about new employment at the beginning of the year, and she recommended put a picture of yourself celebrating with the words divine perfect employment. And I said, oh, I'm going to do even better than that. I have a picture of me with my graduating class of licensed Unity teachers where we're all celebrating, and I put that on my vision board with divine perfect employment. And when I meditated on that vision board, I focused in on what is that feeling of exuberance, what does that yes feel like? And I believe that that helped shift my employment situation very quickly for the better. So I just want to share that it is my belief that it is so important that we connect with that zeal, especially in the time right now of racial unrest, smoke, elections, swirl, whatever we might call it, that we know and find out and discover what is it that brings us zeal, that we make time for those things that light us up inside, that harmonize our body, mind, and spirit, and allow us to bring our good into the world. Because we know that one of our sacred gifts is our ability to lead a zealicious life. Thank you.
Let's place a hand on our heart. Let's invite a little bit of joy. I invite joy,
Joy.
joy. I invite peace.
Audrey. Thank you, Janine. What a nice message. I really enjoyed that. I want to welcome each and every one of you, well, actually, each of you non-Seahawk fans, to today's streaming service. We trust this is serving your soul during these times when we cannot get together individually and as a group here in the church. Together, we can continue to hold the high watch for the good of our church, our planet, and everyone on it. If you're new to Unity and you'd like more information, I'd like to invite you to go onto our website at unityofolympia.org, and you can fill out our guest survey, which is under the Contact Us tab. And also, I'd like to invite you to consider joining us for some of our activities. And I have to tell you, this particular week, there are a lot of things that I want to tell you about. The Community Connection, our Wednesday alternative service, will begin this Wednesday with James Tierney, our ministerial intern, leading that. So this will be a great opportunity for you to get to know James a little bit better and also partake in one of my really favorite alternative services. It's been fun to be a part of that. This is the way James describes it. Listen to this. Music, movement, meditation, and message give you a midweek prayer. Well, I just love that. So that is the Wednesday alternative service. Now, James will also be teaching classes in November. Audrey referred to this. One of them is Discerning Your Purpose, which will begin on Saturday, November the 7th, and continue for the 14th, 21st, and 28th each Saturday. As well as Sundays, he'll be teaching How to Be Anti-Racist. That class begins on Sunday, November the 8th, and will continue on the 15th, 29th, and December the 6th. The Saturday classes begin at 10:30. The Sunday classes begin at noon. Details about all of these classes are on our Unity of Olympia website, and registration is required for each of these events. Of course, I just have to mention Lisa's videos for the youth ed department. These things are fabulous. I love them. Finding your Zen. Like, you really want to participate in this. You do not have to be a youth. You can be anybody. And you want to tune in and find out what Lisa's been doing. It's really marvelous. So feel free to tune in. Now, I hope that many of you have heard, and if not, you're going to hear right now, that Unity of Olympia has entered into an agreement with Build a Bus Home, also B-A-B-H, that's how they say it, to provide showers for the homeless people, and that will be right here on our property on Tuesdays or Wednesdays for the next 90 days. Now, we are supporting this effort, but we will need volunteers in order to make this really go smoothly. So particularly volunteers are needed for all of the following: equipment set up and tear down, welcoming booth assistants and shower assistants, driving a van to pick up guests. 8 to 12 volunteers will be required per day on a 2-shift basis. Training is provided, and all interested are invited to join a Zoom meeting on this Wednesday, October the 7th at 7 p.m. Now, all of this information that I just said to you is available on our website, so please go there and check it out. You can also contact our community coordinator, Kathy Evans, if you yourself are interested or you know others who are. On October 9th, from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock, we have Practicing the Principles in Uncertain Times. Now, I read the description of this. I went onto the Unity website to get more information about this. And this is a group of people who are really going to have a fabulous time. It's about translating spiritual beliefs into social action, which somehow seems wonderfully appropriate given that we have supported the Martin Away Shelter so richly and that now we're going to be supporting the shower bus. So I'm very pleased. This is on October 9th from 5 to 7. There are recommended contributions, but of course that will be up to you. You know, I just have to say that Unity of Olympia is so blessed with so many talented people. I mean, today you had a good example of that with Audrey, our licensed Unity teacher, providing the class, the lesson today, excuse me. And next week we have another guest speaker. That would be Janine, our musical director. Janine will be the speaker, she'll be the musician, she will just about be everything you can imagine. And that will be next week, so please tune in and then Audrey will return for the last 2 Sundays of the month. I feel so blessed to have so many talented people who can support our community during Reverend Terry's sabbatical. Now, I know that many of you really miss each other, that's clear, and I again want to invite you to join our fellowship time on our Zoom Cafe, I'm going to call it the Zoom Cafe, right after the service. Now, the password for that and the link to that was sent out in yesterday's e-blast, and you can join us that way shortly after the service. But if you are not on the email list, please feel free to go to unityofolympia.org, go to the media tab and the newsletters tab, and you can sign up, and then you will also receive the e-blasts so that you will automatically be able to join us at the Zoom Cafe. As you well know, the church always is ongoing, and we always rely on the congregation to support it with its financial contributions, the conscious contributions. When you give your financial help to the church, it enables us to continue with these streaming services and also gives others who really might want to hear our message the opportunity. So I bless each of you who will continue to give and want to encourage you to continue to do so, so that the fiscal health of our church will remain high. I'm happy to report that that is the case so far, and we hope that that will continue. If you're an electronic giver like I am, then you automatically give. I know some of you send checks in, some of you do it in a variety of ways. You can always donate at unityofolympia.org, or if you are a texter and you prefer to text your donation in, you can do so at 360-234-2669. However you do your conscious contribution, let us take that into our consciousness right now, and together let us bless it with divine love. Please join me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Open to the sacred richness of our infinite source, we as Unity of Olympia joyfully co-create unlimited prosperity right now. And so it is.
Let's lead our world home. Everybody sing with me, whether you're out there, online, or the 6 of us in the building. Let's do this together. May the light of justice, truth, and grace lead our country home to freedom for us all. May the light of justice, truth, and grace lead our country home. May it lead our world home. And we'll rise up until freedom has been won. May the light of justice, truth, and grace lead our country home. May it lead our world home. May it lead our world home.
Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Terry, for such beautiful music today. I want to thank everyone who's been a part of making this service happen. Greg, our worship assistant, Linda reading the daily word, Paul back there in our sound booth, and Mary Ellen, our producer from afar. I also want to thank everyone who joined our service virtually, especially those of you who put your comments in the chat. And Terry, thank you so much for sharing those comments with me. Let's close with a prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. We are light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are love of God. The power of God protects us. We are power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, including right here, right now.